Welcome back to another episode of the Good Morning Minute podcast. I'm your host, Angelina Mojica, certified family life educator, life coach, and founder of Empower Her Steps. This season, we're stepping into a new series called Rooted, Restoring the Fruit of the Spirit, a conversation about identity, healing, and inner growth. While the fruit of the Spirit comes from a faith-based framework, the heart of this season is something we can all relate to. The qualities that shape who we are: love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, gentleness, and self-control, and how life experiences either grow or challenge those qualities. We're not here to label people as good or bad, right or wrong. No, friends, we are here to explore what's beneath the surface, what shaped us, what stretched us, and what helped us grow. Today, I'm excited to introduce our special guest. He is Peter, founder of Paw Salvation Inc., immigration and humanitarian, serving Chicagoland and West Africa, empowering girls, supporting homeless individuals with pets, and expanding access to education through compassion-driven initiatives. Peter, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm excited.
Well, I'm excited to get to know you and all the wonderful things that you're doing. I know that it all started from somewhere, and so I would love to get to know your story behind all the things that you're doing. So tell us, before we jump into that, tell us a little bit about who you are and what this current season of life looks like for you.
Who am I? I'm still defining myself. I'm still finding myself. It's been a journey, but where I am right now, it's only by the grace of God that I was able to get to where I am right now mentally. And the growth is every day, basically every day. So
Mm.
that was I was excited to jump on the podcast because it's a faith-based podcast, and I hope I have enough 30 minutes to say what I have to say, but it's all been God. It's all been God.
I love that. And I love hearing that because it gives us a great picture of who you are in this moment. So let's lean into a little bit about the rooted conversation. And I want to ask you, when you look at your life right now, which inner quality, like peace, patience, kindness, or resilience, feels most connected to your journey?
I would say resilience because I was homeless a couple of months ago.
Wow.
I was
Yeah.
living out of my car. And now I have a two-bedroom apartment, and I'm about to buy a house soon. So it's all like I said, it's faith-based. It's staying true to Him even in the midst of the storm because I noticed something during the storm. I think he was just waiting to see what I was going to do. God was just waiting to see what I was going to react to the storm. The moment that storm passed, everything was, everything started adding up. Everything started adding up.
So let's talk a little bit about the storm, Peter, and what brought you to homelessness? What was that? And where in the midst of the storm did you see God and say, okay, here's where the turnaround needs to happen?
So it's where did the homelessness start from? It was basically me giving my all to the community, but
Mhm.
it was affecting my marriage. It was affecting my home. I wasn't as present as I was supposed to because I was more out there in the streets, helping the homeless, doing this, doing that. But I guess she got tired and said, you know what? I can't do this anymore. You gotta leave. If you hear my accent, you know I'm an immigrant. So my birth country is Nigeria, but I have dual citizenship now. But there was a lot that I didn't know before I got here, especially credit score. Back in Africa, if you don't have it, you ain't got it. There's no financing, there's nothing like that. So if you see somebody driving a car, he bought it. If you save in a house, like here in America, you pay rents by the month, every month. In Africa, you pay rent by the year, every 12 months. So it was a whole shift, but it's a learning process for me. But to cut the long story pretty short, it was what brought me to homelessness. She got fed up and she said I had to go. I don't really have family here like that. So the only thing I could do was to stay in the car. I lived in a car. But I have a job, so I put in more hours, kept grinding. You know, it was the irony of life is I used to feed the homeless. So
Mm.
the very first day I slept in the back of the car, I cried a little bit, like, well, I guess it's a
Mm.
full circle. I helped the homeless, now I'm homeless. But what helped me through the process was because I've seen people go through it, but their own case is different because they were dealing with addiction and all those other extra stuff. I don't know why, if you ask me why I was homeless, I don't know how. I just found myself literally just homeless.
Uh-huh.
So I prayed through that storm. It was hard, you know, taking a shower at the office. It
Yeah.
was a very dark time, but I didn't give up. I know I for if there was anything I know I didn't do, I didn't flinch. I'm like, well, it will pass. I didn't. I'm
And
built
it
different.
Yeah, and it has to be something to like you said, I feed the homeless. I'm there to help the homeless. They're definitely on my radar as where my heart and passion leads is to help them. But to find yourself now in that predicament, to really kind of experience it from your perspective, it has to be an eye opener for you, I would imagine.
Yes, yes, it was. There's this homeless couple that I care for.
Hmm.
I don't know if I should say his name, but yeah. So for some weird reason, he just reached out to me like, "Hey," they call me Jay or Peter. "Hey Peter, how you doing? Blah blah blah. Just checking up on you to know how you're doing. Oh, we are doing fine. We have a home now. Unfortunately, we lost our cats, but we're doing well." So I called his name. I said, "You know what is funny?" He said, "What?" I said, "I'm homeless right now." He said, "What?" So he broke down. I said, "No, no, 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 no. I'm going to be fine. Don't worry about me. I'm going to be fine." But it's just funny from this conversation, it was a flip script where you were messaging me, telling me you just got a home and things are looking up for you
Hmm.
and you're fighting your addiction, blah blah blah. You're in rehab, doing all that good fun stuff, and I'm telling you, hey, that's good to hear. Sorry about your cats, but I'm homeless. He was like, "What?" I'm like, "Yeah." So, well, it was a very interesting conversation, and but I knew it wasn't going to be for long. I
Yeah.
wasn't dealing. I'm not battling nothing. It just happened like that, so I wasn't prepared for it. So I didn't have enough finances to like because at that point my credit score was so low I couldn't even rent nothing. I didn't even know it meant anything until when I needed to get my own stuff. Then I thought, yeah, oh, your credit score is so low. I'm like, credit score? Yeah. Okay. So it dawned on me like, what? So one of my supervisors at the office had to like fill in for me where my apartment right now. He had to tell him my situation, like, hey, blah blah blah, he's a good kid, blah 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 blah. So they they just kind of waived some things and let me in because I had the cash, but I didn't have the credit score, but I had the money. You see, it was just. But anyway, I'm here.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think that's something definitely in that moment that you learned about yourself. Do you feel like that you were able to grow some insight about who you are and the direction? Because things like this, because like you have a whole relationship, you're married,
Hmm.
right? And
Was married.
or was. So you have this whole relationship going, going on, and it's like there's this fork in the road going, it's the relationship or it's what you're doing for others.
I had to choose, basically.
Yeah, and that,
I
I
had
mean,
to choose.
that's hard because some people would have said, okay, well, I can give this up and I'm going to maintain my relationship. But you chose differently. And,
Eh,
for whatever reason, whatever calling, I don't know, because that's only between you and God, but you know that. Um, what did you discover in the process of it all? Like, what was the aha moment for you? What was something you learned about yourself?
that is, I'm a believer. I'm a firm. And there's a difference between a believer and a firm believer.
Okay.
You know, you can be a believer, yeah. You're not facing no battles, you're not facing no struggle. Yeah, I believe, I believe. So in the midst of that storm, can you really be a believer though? You know? So I went through the storm, and that's when I knew, yeah, I can say that yes, it was hard, but like I said, I didn't flinch. I knew it was, I just knew it was gonna pass because I knew who I had my eyes on. I had my eyes on him, and I believed that he was gonna come true. So there was no need for me to worry. So that's the thing. Even when I was previously in a relationship, if she had problems, she comes to me and say, "Hey, please, can you pray for this person? Can I pray for that person?" I'm afraid. I'm not afraid. I'm
Hmm.
built differently. I'm not afraid. We're just different. You know, when you hear people talk about homelessness or see people talk about stuff, was I suicidal for a little bit? Yes, I was. But that didn't make that didn't I didn't lose faith in that process.
Yeah.
So that was the fight between my body and my spirit. Like
Yeah.
I want to believe is that period when the devil told Jesus, "Oh, you want to just eat this bread, you'll be fine." You know, when he told him, "No, man doesn't really live by bread alone," because it was pretty intense. Where in the background before I got here, before I got to America, I was doing very well. I was doing very well, you know.
Uh-huh.
And for you to be really here and see yourself like literally being in the back of a car that you're sleeping. I lost a couple of friends because I want to believe they didn't believe that I was homeless. Like they thought it was a joke, like you know. But they
Uh-huh.
didn't even if it was a joke, you could have just checked on me like, "Hey, are you okay?" You know. Very a lot of them didn't check on me, and so that process also helped me weed away a couple of people that were around me. There were too many people around me, so
Hmm.
that phase helped me just weed off some people away from me. Like, mm-mm, I'm not mad at you, but I don't want to be around you. It's
Yeah.
not like a thing of hate. It's not like a thing of I just firmly know what I want now and what I don't want. I do not want them around me. Period. That's it. No, no, it's not no animosity, nothing. It's just that was a really, really trying time for me to go through it by myself. So no. So now that I'm out of it, what are we talking about? There's nothing to talk about, really. There's really nothing to talk about.
Yeah. No, and I appreciate that honesty because you know, you're talking about this radical faith, like this, I'm going to believe like a childlike faith, you know, if that's what the Lord says, that's what I'm going to do. And I can relate to that. I mean, that's what brought me out of Texas to South Carolina. And, you know, everybody that I know in Texas is like, okay. Like, well, you don't have any family there. You don't know anything. And God's telling you to move because there, you know, there's some things that you need to do there. And I'm like, yeah, that's what I got to do. So I definitely understand the radical faith and just taking the leap and knowing that he's there to catch you for sure. And not that we're sitting here going, oh yeah, you know, God's telling you to leave your spouse or whatever. But
Mm-mm.
there are situations where when we're in it, because you talked about the battle between spirit and body,
And
right?
body. Yes.
Spirit and body, where we're so enmeshed in the flesh of things, right? The flesh of it, that we can't see how it is hindering our spiritual growth and our spiritual prosperity. So we stay in it. And it's not until because you know I think of Job and I think of you know many of the Bible stories. Right now I'm studying Daniel, how many times like Daniel was placed in a situation where he had to profess his faith over everything else, and he was in Babylon, like this place where um he knew nothing, you know, was pulled out of his own culture and at an
Mm.
early age. And so he's going in there and he's like, no, I'm sorry, you can believe in this God, but I'm going to continue to believe in the one Almighty. And so in that, you know, and he was put to the fire, he was put to in the lion's den and all of those things, like, you know, but he came out and he ended up seeing the wealth that God had for him in his spirit and in his, you know, those things. And he provided too. God provided. And what God removes, he does also replace. You know, you're now in your own place. So I mean, he does replace for sure. What what in this season, like what was the healing point? Like I know you have your faith and you're radical about it. You're strong in your faith. what else helped you just kind of in it? Because you did talk a little bit about being suicidal,
Yeah,
and that's flesh too, but what helped you make your flesh stronger to align with where your spiritual calling is? What helped you
no,
with that?
my son. Thinking about my son
Okay.
because his birth story is a little. Everything around him is a little different. So he was born on an IUD. He came on an IUD. He's my only kid. I wasn't ready for to have a kid. But it's like God said to me, young man, it's coming now. So, so it's not like I didn't take precautionary steps. I did. We did. But he still came. So every time that I think about him, he gives me strength. I got to be there for him. You just got to be there
Yeah.
for him.
Kids will do that to you. I'm a mother of three, so I definitely understand that for sure. I tell them God knew what I needed in order to get my life together, and it was those
No,
three.
if I didn't have him, I don't know.
Yeah.
So sometimes, like during that phase of the storm, if I didn't have him, I'm not sure what the other part of the story would have been. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's
But
fair.
even though I had my faith, but I just knew I didn't want to leave him alone by himself. Mm-mm.
Yeah. And sometimes it just takes that one person to make a difference in our lives for sure.
That's my little man. That's him right there behind me. That's my little man right there.
All right. Well, Peter, what are some of the things that you continue to implement in your life now to help you stay rooted in your faith and in your relationship with God?
Um, many of it's I think I would say it's different when you read the story off of a book and when you actually leave that story. They're two different things. So that is why I'm very aggressive with my community outreach because I would consider myself very lucky. Many people are not that lucky. Many people need that actual support. Many people need, and back in Africa, Nigeria to be precise, we really we don't really care about mental health like that. We just keep going, just keep going.
Mhm.
So I really need to bring a lot of spiritual awareness back home, especially with the young ones, to make them understand it's all gonna be okay. But you have to do your part. So that's why in the Bible it says you have to have, I don't know if you know how tiny a mustard seed is. It's really tiny. You don't need a really big faith though. Just tiny. But you
Amen.
see how tiny that is? What gets you out of it. It- But some people don't understand how tiny it is. Like my ex-mother-in-law keeps calling me and she's crying. I don't like what's going on. I've been talking to my daughter, blah, blah, blah. I said, Ma, it's gonna be fine. Some things had to happen so that some revelations had to happen. So all that happened just so God would take the glory because I'm going somewhere. I know I'm going somewhere.
Mhm.
So when I get there, He doesn't want, I believe God is a very jealous God. He doesn't want to share His glory with anybody. So He will separate you away from something. Then when He elevates you, nobody can say, "Oh, if it wasn't me, that's not there." I will be a sign that it is God. God did it. So I believe I'm a sign. And I believe I will have to go out to the world and let people know that I'm a sign. I went through this thing. It's not a story. It's not out of a book. It's my story.
Mhm.
And I'm here now in front of you, letting you know it's going to be okay. But there are certain steps you have to take. Yeah, prevention. It's so much going on that, but it takes one person to move. You'll find out that you're not by yourself. You'll have a whole people start coming up like, you know what? Let's support him. It's because at the end of the day, that's why for me, I went bankrupt doing charity work because I didn't care about donations. I was coming out of pocket. I was, I was, I would go to work. That's why I'm sure that's why. So I don't blame her though. It's
Mhm.
insane what I was doing. Like it's insane. So let's say I make $10. I, I keep $2 in the house. I use $8 doing homeless stuff. Are you, what's going on? So I wasn't cheating. I wasn't doing nothing. Like literally, I was just doing my work, literally.
Mhm.
But anyway, it God has been really faithful, and I don't want to go the cliche way of saying, "Oh, I'm going to write a book." I want to be a testimony. I want to be a living testimony. I just rather be out there and speaking to people. Let them go write the book. I want to speak the book. I want to say the book. I want to be the chapter. I want to be the episode. So every time you see me, there's a different episode. There's a different chapter. There's a different page you need to read. You see what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Because I don't believe it's enough for me to put all in one book. And I don't want to, I feel it's cliche to say, oh, I want to write a book. Eh, I want to be the book.
I love that you want to live it out for sure. Don't knock writing a book because I'm definitely an author too. But no, and I say that very lovingly. You know, it can be your written testimony too.
Yes, I understand that.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, tell us a little bit about the things that you're doing. So we know you're helping the homeless. What is that organization? And I think there was another organization too, working with young ladies. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct. So I started off Paw Salvation. Paw Salvation cares for homeless people that have pets.
Mhm.
I started from caring for 20 families during COVID to now over 1,000 families. I do
Wow.
pantries every last Saturday of the month. But it was time for me to go home, home being West Africa. So I went home and I noticed they don't have animal welfare problem. They have human problem. They have real life problems.
Mhm.
So for Salvation came up with African Girl Guide. Many of the girls back home are not supported to go to school. They don't they encourage the boys to go to school rather than the girls.
Mhm.
So African Girl Guide is a platform to encourage the girls to stay in school, to finish up school, and be great. Because I
Mhm.
believe in them, and if they blossom, the world will be better. So I wanted to empower them and make sure that they have all the resources they need to stay in school, stop doing prostitution, and just be there in school, be present, and it's gonna be okay, you know? And I wish there was a way I could have done it anonymously, but if you look at my profile online, you'll barely see my name. You will see the organization, but I'm behind the scenes guy. I just want to do what I need to do and just go out there, you know. But it's kicking off strong. We've had meetings as of today. The Federal Ministry of Women Affairs back home in Africa just wrote us a letter, so they want to have a meeting next week. So they want to hear what we're trying to do and how they want to be part of it or whatever. So it's looking, it's growing. So like I said, you have to just take that one step, and he figures out the rest. But you have to move though. So I took that one step randomly, and I have an older woman in Chicago on my board. I have really nice people. Wolfgang is on my board. I have a few people on my board. Like the support I got is it's a little overwhelming, but I believe in him so much so that if he says move, just move. I don't even know how I came up with the name. It just came. That's how it is with him.
Mhm.
I was just by myself like, you know what? African Girl Guide. And I wrote it down. I searched the name. It was available, and I bought the name. Boom. I'm like, that's how it started. That's
That's
how it
awesome.
started. Sent some.
Yeah,
I had some friends send them some emails like, "Hey, I tried to do this, blah blah blah." Like, okay, you know what? I'll support you. I'll come on board. I'll come on your board and help you. And I'm like, okay, yeah. It's
hmm
huge. I'm even afraid. I wouldn't even lie. Like they can't. We've not even really started, but the attention we are getting right now is like, God, okay, okay. I need to breathe. I need to breathe. Okay.
Yeah, when he's leading it, everything just falls into place, and
Yes.
there is no work or try behind it. Really, it just comes naturally. It's so
Hmm.
organic. It is the field of dreams. If you build it, they will come for sure. So Peter, I'm going to ask you, like, what would you want someone listening today who may be struggling with the same thing to hear from you?
God is real. It's not a hoax. It's not. a story. It's not. It's real. It's very real. You don't need to do too much. He would accept you just the way you are. Just go to him and make him understand that, hey, just talk to him like you're talking to your guy, to your friend. Like, hey, it's bad right now. I need you to come around right now. Like, you don't have to be all holy. No. If you don't know too much about the Bible, look at all of his disciples. None of them were saints. All of them had a history. All of them had past. All of them were who they were. But that is he made them his disciples. So your background doesn't matter. What you have done doesn't matter. It's what you want, what you are willing to leave behind to move forward. That's all that matters right now. So it doesn't matter what. So most of the time, the devil holds us back with what we have done. No, but I know you don't. If you don't know too much about the Bible, look it up a little bit. All of his
Mhm.
12 disciples, none of them were saints. All of them had a past, a really,
Mhm.
really terrible past for that matter.
Terrible past, and they still struggled even in their walk
Even
with
exactly.
a
So
lot of their flesh, a lot of their flesh
exactly.
things they did. I think this is so awesome that sharing so openly. It also reminds us that growth rarely starts with trying harder. It's more about understanding ourselves more compassionately. So really understanding who we are, what formed us, formed those belief systems and whatnot, and also growing and just becoming healthier and letting God lead in our life for sure. So, another question I have before we start wrapping up is if you could leave the listeners with one thought, maybe truth or encouragement to help them stay more grounded and rooted in who they are becoming, what would it be?
You're living a little faith, tiny little faith. You don't need too much, just a little faith.
A mustard seed, mustard
He will
seed.
come true. He always comes true, always. So you have
Yes.
to protect your mind. Your mind is all you have. You have to protect it, keep it. A
Yes,
little
because
prayer.
yeah.
Yeah, it's all in the mind. If you let negative thoughts get into your mind, it's gonna be hard. So you protect your mind, you
Mm,
protect your heart, and you'll be fine. You will be fine. You just need to know that you'll be fine. That's all you need to do. Just know I got God and I'm okay. And no
yeah.
matter whatever's happening right now, it's a phase. It must pass. It cannot be like this for too long. But it's in our mind that makes it look like it's so long. But just take your mind out of it
Mhm.
and change your direction. Look at him. And you take care of it.
I love that you said that because, anytime a problem or a dilemma hits me, I'm like, and this too shall pass. Because it
Yeah,
is just a moment. It's a moment. So what am I needing to learn in that moment about myself or others? What do I need to change? It's something there. So look at it from more of an inquisitive mindset as far as let me understand this so I can grow from it and move
yep,
forward. But
yep.
this too shall pass is
Uh,
what I often say a lot in my day-to-day work as well. Um, so Peter, before we wrap up and close, where can people connect with you or learn more about the things that you're doing?
yeah, that would be pawsalvation.com or on Facebook, it is Paw Salvation. We have two Facebook. One is a page, one is a regular
Mhm.
page. So the other one is Paw Salvation Inc., INC. The other one is Paw Salvation on Instagram is at Paw Salvation. But to see how much lives we are saving in Africa, it is AfricanGirlGuide.org. We're about to take it to a different level,
I love it.
empowering these women and making sure show the progression from when we met them to where they are, where they will be, see their future, see who they become. And that's pure joy right there. Pure joy.
Yes. And I love it. I love that it's coming from a male perspective too, because so many of the girls in Africa, from what I've read and understand, it's torn down by men. So to have a man come back in and speak life into them, oh, yes, I love it. Well, Peter, I want to say thank you so much for sharing your story and your growth with us. What I love about conversations like this is that they remind us transformation isn't about perfection, it's about awareness, healing, and intention. When we tend to the root, the fruit begins to change naturally. So to those of you that are listening, take a moment to reflect. Which inner quality feels hardest right now? And what part of your story might be asking for more care? For me, my faith is where that healing begins. And if you are curious about that journey, you're always welcome here. No pressure, no judgment, just space to grow. Until next time, friends, stay rooted, stay real, and stay growing. I'm Angelina Mojica, your life coach, sending you much love, much peace, many blessings.
Bye.